This is John Lane with Castle Rock Sprinkler, where we're all about beautiful yards, efficient sprinkler systems, and festive holiday lights. Today, I'm going to show you the most efficient way to replace a broken sprinkler head. And I'm going to give you a little overview of some sprinkler heads and sort of what you're looking at as you go into this project. I remember the very first time I was a young homeowner and I went in the backyard and there was a sprinkler head not working. And I remember just standing there like this, looking down at it with absolutely no clues where to start. Now, after 20 years of being in the sprinkler business, it seems hard to believe, but I'm going to put myself in your shoes, and you're looking down at a sprinkler head and have no idea where to start. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial on this, and I'm going to give you a special secret that makes this job so much easier. So are you ready? Are you with me? Do you want to see how this works? All right, so we're going to have to start off with the shovel. This is the bane of being a sprinkler man right here. Digging. I dig like a mole. They call me the mole. And so I'm going to show you how to dig this. You're going to dig a donut around this sprinkler head. So I'm going to put my finger in here, and I feel it's right there. And so I'm going to kind of dig myself a nice donut around it. Let's see how this works. Speaking of donuts, sounds good right now. All right. And I'm going to pull this back, this little piece of sod, and there's the sprinkler head right down there. So we've dug our little collar here, our donut, and you see I didn't make it great big. You don't have to, you just have to have it small. And then I like to sort of clear this out a little bit. So I've got a good working area. So I can get my hand around the top of that thing. So there we go. And I want you to notice something. You see how far down below the grade that head is? It's that far below the surface. That head should be sitting right at grade, right at top here. So what happened? Well, I put this lawn in 15 years ago, and I set those heads at grade, and they're 6-inch heads. And over time, the ground's pulled it down, and the turf is built up, and that's what happens. And a lot of times, if you're using a 4-inch head like this, and if it was down there, this would barely clear when it raised up this grass, and it would obstruct it. And so you have to raise these occasionally. So as a bonus today, I'm going to show you how to raise it. It's real easy. So as you reach down into this hole and you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, well, what is that exactly? So I'm going to show you the different styles. So the most common sprinkler head is this type of stationary pop-up. So you turn the water on, this pops up, and it sprays, no movement. This is it, 4-inch pop-up spray head, most common. Then after that, you have rotors. So this would be a standard rotor, and these are the kind that move back and forth. And then this is an old style, one of the original rotors. It's called a maxi paw. It does that kind of rat-a-tat-tat-tat and goes back. I love these, by the way, but they're high maintenance and they're expensive these days. And then there's varieties of this 4-inch where they get longer. And you notice here there's a port. Sometimes when installers put these in, they'll open this up and they'll connect the line here. And so you cannot do this to get it out. So your life becomes more complicated. Probably if you have something like this, or if this one's connected, you might want to call a sprinkler professional because it's a lot easier, but you can do it. But we're not going to go into that today. We're just going to look at this, the most common sprinkler head you're going to have, and we're going to show you how to fix it, okay? So once you get this cleared, you're going to want to make sure that as much of the loose dirt as possible is sort of cleared away from the hole, and I even push it down. And the reason is when you pull that head out of there, you don't want the dirt to be falling down into this fitting. Once that occurs, your life becomes much more complicated. If that happens, then you have to actually turn the water on to get the water out of the dirt out of this, and then you have water and mud in the hole. Everything gets complicated when you do that. So I'm going to show you the move. We call it the move. And this is where you use the head as you and you compact the soil all the way down so that none of it's going to fall out when you pull out. So now I'm going to loosen this up. Just turn it to the left, loosening it up. And as I pull it out, I'm still doing this move motion, as you can see. I'm kind of making sure there's no loose soil. And it's going to come out. And now the dirt has fallen in there. So that's it. Make sure you don't let any soil get down in there. That's the key, because then it makes your job a lot easier. Then you take your new head, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple risers on here. So these are riser extensions. You just screw those on. And in this case, I think it's going to take 3. We'll put 3 on there. There we go. And then we're going to gingerly, easily, carefully just push it back in there, like yay. And we're just going to screw it down. And now I'm looking here, and I'm looking at grade. So grade is here, and I can see already that's going to be a problem with 3. So I'm going to come back up. I'm going to take one of these off. We're going to go here, like that. Now, every now and then, you may pull yours out, and it may have something on it like this. These are risers. This is a little 1-incher. You may have something like that, or you may have something like this that's been cut off. These are cut off risers that's been cut off to fit. And oftentimes what happens if you hit a head with a mower or it gets run over on the corner by your car and there's some real pressure on it, could actually crack these. You see that quite often, where these would be cracked. Part of it comes up with the head, but part of it remains down in the hole connected to the fitting, wherever the fitting is. So this happens to be a male fitting, but most of them are going to be female. And so it's in there. So then what you need to get that little partial out is a stub remover. So you just push that down in there, and you can just turn it out. This was one of the greatest tools ever made. Makes a sprinkler man's life a lot easier. So those are things you can do. But let's get back to putting this in. So we're going to put the risers on. Carefully insert it. Feel our way to the threads. Threads are there. And there we go. We're tight. So once you have that, you check the grade. Make sure it's at grade. You don't want it too high. If it's too high, you're going to hit it with the mower. It's going to be a problem. And then here's an important step for you. You want to make sure that this is packed really tight all around with dirt. And the reason is if it's tight and there's no movement, if you hit it with your mower, if you happen to go over it and there's no motion, nothing can happen. And so that's the idea. You want to have a little topsoil, and you just sort of put the soil in there and tamp it down really well. Now that's already solid. And then get your collar. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just cut it. And then find the wide spot like that. Start shoving it, fitting it down in there. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And then I might have to have a little soil over here. Kind of pack that down in there. Kind of fluff it up. And look at that. There's your head. Nice and solid at grade. Now what remains is to put a head on there, a nozzle, I should say. And I think I grabbed one here. Yeah, it's there, but it's lost. So we'll take the one off of here. So you can pull it up, unthread it. There's a filter. And if you think you got dirt in there, what you can do is you can go turn your system on, leave that orange cap on there, and you can see there is a port here. And you can turn the water on and it'll shoot the water out of there, and if you did get some dirt in there, it will take it out. So that's your saving grace. Just hold it there. Put on your filter, put on your head. Now in this case it's a 360. This is a van, it's a variable angle nozzle, and so we just have it all the way open, and that's 360. If I wanted it to be 180, I'd go there. If I wanted it to be 90, I'd go there. But this is all the way open. So that's all there is to it. You're in business. Remember the move. That's the most important thing. Don't get involved in having water and mud in that hole. It complicates your life. If you have any questions, you can put something in the comments. Always happy to help you in any way I can. We'll talk about these other items later in other videos. And let me just say that these are 1/2 inch. So this 4 inches, these 4-inch pop-ups use 1/2 inch fittings. These use 3/4 inch fittings, these rotors. And this one can use both. So just keep that in mind. Any questions? Just look me up down below. Thanks for watching. It's fun to show you this, and hopefully you won't stand there like I did back when I was 27 years old looking out and saying, what in the world am I doing here? Now you have the knowledge. So good luck to you.